Can't you sit still, George?
I need to go to the John.
While you're there, check out the buffet car, George. Unthinkable though it is, I am hungry enough to eat English food.
Okay. Door to a sleeping compartment. Oh, no. That gangster creep from the hotel, Guido. Well, he didn't scare me. Hey, Buster. This is a no-smoking car. Okay, maybe he did scare me. It got worse. I suddenly realized who the conductor had reminded me of. Echo, Marquet's murderer. Didn't want to shoot the breeze with this guy. I should have known better than to leave Nico and the old lady alone. Suddenly, the sword of Baphomet took second place to finding the girl I loved. I have a feeling that was where Nico might have been taken. Where else could she be? The door was locked. All I could see of the man's face was a massive purple bruise around his eye. It was a strange contrast with his flaming red hair, which stuck out in stiff, greasy tufts. I didn't want to wake him. To be frank, without a cold water hose, I didn't think I could wake him. The man's face was blotched and unshaven. I guess he'd been traveling all night. Red-rimmed eyes stared fish-like above his broken nose. Hi, having a party?
No, this is breakfast. Come on, join us, man. Away, Basha, wake up, man. What's company?
His breath was like the outlet from a chemical factory.
Excuse my mate, he's taking a nap. Sleeping like a bobby. I'll wake him up when we get to Newcastle.
We passed through Newcastle half an hour ago.
And I never noticed.
Did you see what happened to the young woman in the next compartment?
No, Paul, I didn't. Have you lost her, like?
She's disappeared. The old lady, too. I think they're in trouble.
Away, man, an old lady, too?
Yeah. You gotta help me.
Maybe they went to the toilet, like?
I don't think so.
They never go on their own. Always in pairs, you know?
No, she's been abducted, I'm sure. I've got to go look for her.
What's stopping you, pal?
The conductor. He's not what he seems.
You want to avoid him, like?
That's about it, yeah.
No problem.
Listen, I need your help.
What's the matter?
There's a guy on this train who's trying to kill me.
Relax, man. You wouldn't try nothing with us in Basher here. We are veterans, like, so action at Brightlingsea.
I don't recall the British Army being involved in a conflict at anywhere called Brightlingsea.
Well, you just take it from me, pal. You're in safe hands.
What is that stuff you're drinking? It smells like gasoline.
Aye, I'll put hairs in your chest, like.
And your eyeballs, too, by the looks of you. See you later. The windows seemed to have been sprayed with tiny flecks of froth.
Give it to it, pal. Don't jump.
I don't intend to jump. I'm going to climb on top of the train.
You're kidding, aren't you?
Just watch me.
Hold on now, pal. I'll give you a hand, like.
Wanted to stop a train, and now was my chance. You saved our lives, but why?
We were always on the same side, Stobart. Different causes, but a common enemy.
The Knights Templar?
Don't call them that. The real Templars were a noble foe. These barbarians have no right to that name. These men are no better than dogs.
What are the Neo-Templars after? What is the Sword of Baphomet?
Not what you think, my friend. It is a weapon, yes, but one which our enemies will find difficult to wield. A double-edged sword. A power older than Timolay, older than Solomon.
We'll stop them. You and me together. And Nico.
No, George. My journey ends soon at the Garden of Paradise.
You're talking in riddles. Can't you tell me straight what they're after?
The sword symbolizes a colossal energy caused by the alignment of the Earth's natural power fields,
which are focused at St. Ninian's.
The energy endowed the Templars with the power which made them great. A power which made them charismatic to such an extent they could control the will of all around them.
How did you escape from the Bull's Head?
It is a long walk from the cliff of the Bull to the village, Stobart. Fortunately, I know the ways of the wilderness. Also, I have a sister who keeps a garage just around the corner. May Allah guide you to our enemies.
Thanks.
One last thing.
What? What is it? He's dead. Underneath that heap of tumbled crates was Eklund. I wasn't about to help him out. The guy was a professional killer. The last thing he deserved was sympathy. I had to admit it, though. I was sorry he'd ended up this way. Nico looked good, even in robes. The rear exit was barred and padlocked. It was a fire extinguisher.
Where do you think you're going?
Don't worry, I hadn't forgotten about you.
Answer me this instant, George Stobart.
I will, when I'm ready.
That's not fair, George.
No.
You took advantage while my hands were tied.
When Eklund pointed that gun at me, I thought I was gonna die. I thought of all the things I never get to do. Kissing you was at the top of my list.
George,
Uh-huh.
George, we've got to get off the train. Eklund could recover at any time.
So what are we waiting for?
What are you doing?
I'm out of here.
Not that door. Do you want to end up like Flap?
Not especially. What remains of him is well on his way back to London. I hope he was traveling on a return ticket. I'd feel happier if we had a gun or something.
Khan gave me something.
What?
His handbag.
Oh, great. If we run into any killers, we can give them a good buffeting. Didn't he have any weapons?
You don't know half of it. This bag's full of C4.
Wow. Why didn't you say so? Boy, we'll show him now. What's C4?
Plastic, George.
We're going to shop our way to victory?
2 kilos of plastic explosive. The detonator's broken now.
No problem. We'll buy a box of matches somewhere.
It doesn't work that way. It takes a small explosion to start the big explosion.
Well, that's not much use then. What does that sign say?
Apparently during the English Civil War in the mid-17th century, this place was used as an arms dump.
Yeah? What happened?
Look at the state of this place, George. You work it out.
Oh, stray spark?
You got it. The tower was the only thing to survive the blast.
I hope the explosion didn't destroy the Sword of Baphomet.
Do you? I rather hope it did.
It was just about recognizable as the church I'd seen reflected in the chalice. Templars, Roundheads, and Cavaliers. This place has seen a lot of history. A large arch led into the tower. It was a heap of stones and stuff which had tumbled down from the rafters. I scrabbled around in the rubble and found an old clay pipe with a broken stem. Under one of the stones, I found a metal coin which was green with age. It was caked with soil, but what I'd found was a small cog and spindle. With mounting excitement, I felt something between my fingers. It was short, hard, and black, something I hadn't expected to find here. It was a plastic pentop. The wheel had a serrated edge which meshed with the turning cog. Marks on the spindle behind the wheel suggested it once had a rope attached to it. The wheel turned reluctantly with a creak of complaint. There was no obvious way of removing the wheel from its housing. It was a simple cog arrangement with a handle to turn the larger wheel. The handle turned easily, and the larger wheel began to revolve. Damn! Then the handle came off in my hand. Now that the handle was gone, it was easy to remove the cog and spindle. The stone face of the demon grinned with a horribly lifelike expression. It was so realistic, I could imagine the sculptor carving it from a live model. Examining the demon more closely, I realized something about its face. It was a clever illusion. No matter where I stood, the eyes weren't looking at me. There was a simple reason. The demon didn't have any eyes. Above the carved cross was an indecipherable inscription. For all I knew, it could have been scribed in Gaelic. I tried pushing the panel, but wasn't surprised when it failed to move. Nico?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
Committing this inscription to memory.
Can you read it?
No,
What's the point of studying the inscription if you can't read it?
because it could be important. A clue to whatever we're looking for, who knows? I might find someone installing to translate it.
We don't have time to go looking for a linguist.
No? At least I am doing something positive.
What language is that inscription written in?
You're the languages student, you tell me.
It looks like ancient Norse. Maybe.
Perhaps it's in code.
I don't think so.
Norse code.
Look, I found an old coin. You think it's worth anything?
George, focus on the situation at hand, please.
Look what I found buried in the rubble.
It's a plastic pen top.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Finding something so mundane in a place like this.
Astounding. Let me know if you find any paper clips.
Nico, I found an old clay pipe.
George, I don't care.
With the clay pipe in his mouth, he looked happy, homely, like somebody's granddaddy.
What do you think you're doing, Josh?
I wondered if there was a secret mechanism in the demon's mouth.
Maybe you should show a little more respect.
For a mythical medieval demon? Give me a break.
Okay, go right ahead. Meddle with forces you don't understand. Incur the demon's wrath and burn in hell. Just see if I care.
I pushed the pen top into the mouth, and it disappeared somewhere inside the statue. It had probably gone straight to Biro Hell. The cog slipped neatly into the eye socket. With a rasp of metal on stone, I eased the second eye into place. I pushed the handle into the demon's mouth. The cogs all meshed. I began to turn. As soon as I saw the flickering torches, I realized the bogus Templars had beaten us to the sword. But where were they now? And why was it so quiet? The powder spilling from the barrels reminded me of pirate stories I'd loved when I was a kid. It was gunpowder. The torch burned with a sickly dim glow and a stench like fire and brimstone.
No, Georges!
What?
Leave that torch right where it is. In case you haven't noticed, the crypt is full of gunpowder.
So what? Don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust.
No? You think I'm a jerk, don't you?
Don't be silly, Georges, and keep your voice down. I thought I heard something. Like chanting.
I really wasn't worried about the danger of igniting the gunpowder. But Nico's temper was likely to flare up again. Now that scared me.
Listen, I can definitely hear chanting.
You're right. I hear it too. What do you suppose they're doing?
It wouldn't surprise me if they were holding some kind of satanic sex ritual.
So, what are we waiting for? Shh!